Welcome to Castle Combe, often called the prettiest village in England. Nestled in the rolling countryside of Wiltshire, just a few miles from the historic city of Bath, Castle Combe feels like a place where time decided to pause. There are no modern streetlights, no visible television aerials, and barely any new buildings. What you see here is largely what people would have seen centuries ago. As you enter the village, notice the honey-coloured Cotswold stone cottages. These buildings date back as far as the 14th and 15th centuries. Their warm limestone walls glow golden in sunlight and soften to a gentle amber at dusk. The roofs, made of heavy stone tiles, have stood through hundreds of years of English weather. Castle Combe's history stretches back even further than the medieval period. The Romans once occupied this area, drawn by its fertile land and proximity to Fosse Way, one of the major Roman roads in Britain. Later, during the Saxon period, a settlement developed here along the Bybrook River. The village takes its name from a Norman castle that once stood here after the Norman conquest of 1066. Although the castle itself has long since disappeared, its legacy remains in the name. Castle Combe. The word combe comes from an old Celtic term meaning valley, which perfectly describes this peaceful hollow in the countryside. Now imagine the village in the Middle Ages. Instead of tourists with cameras, you would have seen weavers, merchants, farmers, and traders. Castle Combe became prosperous thanks to the wool trade. Wool was England's most important export during medieval times, and this village thrived from it. The River Bybrook powered the mills that processed the wool into cloth. In the heart of the village stands the Market Cross, built in the 14th century. This simple stone structure once sheltered traders selling wool and other goods. Markets were the centre of medieval village life, places of business, conversation, and community. Just beside the Market Cross rises the beautiful Church of St. Andrew. Parts of this church date back to the 13th century. Step inside and you'll find one of its most remarkable treasures, a faceless medieval clock, believed to be one of the oldest working clocks in England. It has no dial, only a single hand marking the passing hours. For centuries, this clock has quietly kept time over the village. The churchyard itself tells stories of generations past. Weathered gravestones lean gently, their inscriptions softened by rain and wind. Each stone represents a life once woven into the daily rhythm of Castle Combe. As you walk along the main street, notice how the cottages sit close to one another. In medieval times, this closeness fostered community, and sometimes necessity. Winters were harsh, and neighbours relied on one another for warmth and survival. Despite its small size, Castle Combe has had moments of international fame. Its untouched beauty has made it a popular filming location. Scenes from movies such as War Horse and Stardust were filmed here, along with several historical dramas. Filmmakers are drawn to Castle Combe because it requires almost no alteration. It already looks like a ready-made film set. If you follow the gentle sound of running water, you'll reach the Bybrook River. The stone bridge that crosses it offers one of the most photographed views in England. From here, the cottages line the street in perfect perspective, reflected softly in the water below. Although the village feels ancient, it is still very much alive. About 350 people live here today. There is a traditional pub, welcoming visitors with hearty meals and local ales, and a small community that works carefully to preserve the village's character. What makes Castle Combe so special is not grandeur or scale, it is harmony. The buildings share the same stone. The road curves naturally with the land. The river flows gently through it all. There is no towering cathedral or dramatic castle ruin dominating the skyline. Only proportion, balance, and quiet beauty. In spring, flowers spill from cottage gardens. In summer, sunlight dances across the stone walls. Autumn brings golden leaves that match the limestone hues, and in winter, a light dusting of frost transforms the village into something almost fairy tale-like. Castle Combe invites you to slow down, to listen, to notice small details, the ironwork on a gate, the uneven cobblestones beneath your feet, the distant chime of the church clock marking another hour. It is a reminder that history is not always found in grand palaces or busy cities. Sometimes it survives in a small valley, in a village that has quietly endured for nearly 1,000 years. As your visit comes to an end, take one last look along the main street. Imagine the generations who walked this same path. Medieval merchants, wool traders, Victorian villagers, wartime children, and now you. Castle Combe is not just a destination. It is a preserved moment in time, a living window into England's rural past. Thank you for listening, and enjoy the rest of your journey through this timeless village.